Hello and welcome to the So You Want to Learn Tarot course. It is important, especially at this foundation setting stage, that you are offered the best possible learning experience. So you will find a series of pre-recorded sessions that will offer you, the student, a learning resource that can help to guide you through this course. The purpose of the foundation course is to offer exactly what it should, and that is to ensure that your tarot studies consist of a strong and meaningful foundation. This is a platform from where all your learning and readings will develop and grow from. The biggest factor affecting learning is confidence. So I will say now at the start of this course, what you think and what you feel is more important than anything that we can teach you. You are the power behind your own success. So be brave, and even if an idea, a thought, or a feeling seems very different to what you think you should say, we want to hear that. Of course, the traditional meanings are the foundation, but insight comes from within. It is your knowledge, and with this thought, we will now move on to the first session. Session 1 on the foundation level tarot course gives focus firstly to the major arcana. The tarot deck normally contains 78 cards, 22 which are major arcana cards and 56 which are minor arcana cards. The major arcana cards give focus to our spiritual and personal development, to the influences that are around us and the processes within us that are the mechanisms of life. If you have ever felt tested, challenged, or even find that doors keep closing in your face, you can expect to see this reflected in the major arcana. The significant changes that occur in our life will be represented more often than not by a major card rather than a minor. The minor arcana cards focus on everyday life matters such as work, interactions, relationships, and finances, etc. The aim of this session is to become more familiar with the energy of the initial 3 major arcana cards, the Fool, the Magician, and the High Priestess, in that sequence. When carrying out the sessions within this course, the ideal is that you let go of any preset ideas that you may already have on what you think each card represents, and instead look at each card with fresh eyes and a clear mindset. The point of this session and the course in general is to keep in mind that you are developing your tarot foundation. We don't want to rush this, but more so, we want you to take a methodical approach to the process and become an explorer whilst keeping it simple too. Session 1 asks for your thoughts on the Fool and to provide keywords to describe the Fool's energy. What we want to encourage is for you to express exactly what you think and feel about the Fool. Look at his stance. Does he look concerned about the rough cliff edge? His clothes are clean and smart, therefore he has not yet journeyed. In fact, they are somewhat flamboyant, so not especially practical. Does this suggest that the Fool is prepared? And even though the Fool is standing upon a cliff edge, does he even look concerned at all? You will also be asked for your thoughts on the dog that jumps up by the Fool. This dog can represent anything or anyone, but also remember that there is insight in the simplicity of your own prior understanding. For example, we know that dogs in general are very loyal. We know that dogs have an innate desire to protect us. So what does this tell us? Is this a loyal, trusting friend who's going to turn up to offer us advice? Also, the dog is white. What could that mean? And what is the message that this one aspect of the card's imagery can give us? So, for the Magician, we are looking at his tools and an aspect of how he utilises them to his advantage. The tools that I refer to are the elements air, fire, earth, and water. Each are represented in the minor arcana suits. The suits consist of swords for air, wands for fire, pentacles for earth, and cups for water. The session asks how you would utilize one of the elements. The relevance of this is to question and look at the elements from the perspective of the magician so you can understand him better. And also understand that his energy is one that we each have within us. It is as much about being resourceful, and this is the magician, who is an especially resourceful guy. Lastly, we move on to the High Priestess, who we take a more practical look at. The High Priestess is often seen as set within a veil of mystery, so much so that we can overlook her more temporal aspect and how she manifests in our day-to-day life. In a nutshell, she is our intuition. She is the energy that speaks to us amidst the silence. She is our natural inner guide. Looking at the imagery, we see the High Priestess sat between two pillars. One is dark and one is light. This, in its simplest terms, is a reminder of the duality that is represented by the High Priestess. She is the balance in between the two. The High Priestess represents inner balance. The session also asks for your thoughts on the High Priestess as a relationship outcome. The purpose for this is to look at her energy in the more temporal aspect. Do we see the High Priestess in all her stillness as the epitome of love and softness of the Empress, or do we see the Vestal spirituality of all-knowing? So this brings us to the conclusion of the first session of the course. Please enjoy working on the session, and we will soon come to session 2. So thank you for listening.